Welcome back. So Saturday I was up at the shop running the engine, and as you can see here I was actually sitting in the office while it was running because I ran it for about an hour and just monitoring it from there, and didn't really run it up any higher than about 2700 RPM as you can see here, but wanted to get some more time on it. And now we're on to Monday, and the guys are busy finishing off the rest of these molds that they have in play right now. So that's one of the ones for the parachute straps, had the heavy layer put on board. And this is one of the ones for the main gear doors, and as you can see they're putting the black top coat down in preparation for creating that mold. And there's the other one there, so they're doing sort of both at the same time. And the next step on that is just to put the lightweight layer of glass down on that one. And you may remember that I milled these things up at Britt's place, and so Jeff's finished putting that little flange on there, and I've pressed the bearings into place on there. So the next step is to bond it into place. So there it is, sort of pushed in from the bottom of the keel there, and so it's got some high sol on that flange that he laid up previously, and so that's being sort of pushed in there, and I've just put a block of foam in there, and Jeff and I sort of wedged it in there. It's difficult to sort of get oriented a bit there. It's sort of up above that block of foam there. You can see there it is. And so it's got the high sol in there and it's bonded in. So the next thing is just to put the layup over the other side. And so this one is the one that allows us to transfer the rudder controls through the pressure bulkhead without losing any pressure. And there you can see he's Jeff's done a few more layups there. There's the one there for the rudder control, and the other one up the top there was the one for the aileron control, the elevator control pass-through. And the other one there, that's just the mounting point for the pressurization controller that I had in there a while ago. And I got going and got the other door done here with the pin sleeves for the pin locks. So they're all sitting in place. This is Monday evening, and just setting up. And now we're on to Tuesday, and so here you can see that's that pass through there for the elevator control. So that one's all done now, all bonded in and cleaned up. And here is the door. Actually, I think this is still Monday evening now. So here's the doors and the door ready, and just setting up now. So that's kind of how I put all those pins in. It worked out good on the first door, on the right hand side one, so did the same technique on the left hand side, so no problems there. And by the end of Monday evening, the guys had these two plugs there, or sorry, two molds for the main gear doors done with the lightweight layers, and a layer of peel ply on top of that. So once they're set up, they can put the heavyweight on. And likewise, the parachute strap cover molds, they put the heavyweight layers on those and peel ply on those, so they just need bracing now, and they're all finished. And now we're on to this morning. So this is the mold for the vent door for the lower cowling. So we've got the top coat put down, at least the first coat of top coat put on that, and then these are the ones for the baggage doors. So again, top coat put on those. So they're just sort of, flying through all these different molds this the last 2 weeks, get them all done. And there's the ones from yesterday, or from Monday. So they had the peel ply taken off there, and they're ready now to have the heavyweight layers put on board. And you see Devon's just addressing a few little air bubbles and stuff that are here and there, so just sort of peel them out so they can get filled with resin. And meanwhile, I move back onto some of the stuff for the rudder pedals, and so this is a whole bunch of brackets, basically 8 identical brackets for the rudder pedal linkages that link from the pedals themselves to the brake cylinders. And so there's 8 of these, and then there's another 8 that I also did as well, and you'll see more of that shortly, but just running that on the machine with the drill and the end mill. And meanwhile, here's Zach just in the process of wetting down the first of the heavyweight layers for the first of these main gear door molds. And here's my little job here, back on, and switched over to the actual end mill here and sort of cutting out. So I drilled all the holes first and then put screws in all the holes to hold everything in place, because once you start cutting it, if it's not all clamped down, it's just going to go flying. So anyway, I had to blow some air on there to cool things down. That's what it sort of looked like halfway through. So, and it actually laid out really well in the CAD, no waste at all, pretty much. So, and that's just cutting that out of some 2-inch by 1/8 of an inch thick flat stock 6061 aluminum. And now I'm switching over to the second set, which are almost the same, just slightly different geometry. And these are the ones I believe for the upper, and actually for the lower linkages. So they link the bottom of the brake cylinders to the rudder pedals themselves, and you'll see more of that later. And there they are with the screws all taken out, so they have slightly different hole sizes in them and slightly different geometry, as you can see. And here Devon and Zach are now in the process of finishing off the lightweight layer there for this baggage door mold. So they're just putting the peel ply down. And there's the brackets that I've done, so they're all cleaned up, and I had to do a bunch of cleanup work on those, just file the edges and remount the holes and just basically tidy them all up and put them in a little bit of alcohol, and they're all nice and clean now, so they're all ready to go. And Jeff is in the process now starting to patch up the various seams in the cabin. So this is the upper lower seam there behind the door, and he's put a bit of foam in there to sort of build it out to the same thickness of what the rest of the skins are, and that'll get a layup over the top of it. And he's closed out the very front section of where those parachute straps come down from the door frames, because that was sort of a little bit open, hadn't been finally closed out. And here's the one on the other side as well, so he's bonded the foam into that, and that's now ready just to get a little bit of cleanup before getting a layup. And he's also put in the seal here, or the resin, probably micro mix, I think, there at the bottom of the windshield, where the windshield mates up to the cowling skin, or the front nose skin. And here we are, there's the aileron box, and so this one now is time to have the bearings pushed into place, or pressed into place, and there you can see I've got them in, and there's a little control that Britt welded up for us a while back, and it's just slid through there, so that allows the aileron to move. So this is how it looks with the plates on it that the aileron cable is going to go through, and then the actual control stick slides in here in the middle and has a hole through it, so that basically slots through there, as you can see, and it's kind of like a puzzle piece really. That slots through the hole there, and then you take the other piece, the final piece there, and that slides through there and ultimately locks in that the aileron stick there. And there's the bolts that hold that wheel in there, and will keep that all in place, and there's a C-clip on the other end that stops it from sliding around as well. So that's basically how that all works, and once the hardware's in there, it'll be all locked down. And here you can see Jeff's in the process of bonding in the little bracket there for the gas strut for the nose compartment door. And finally decided to run the engine again at the end of today, and just to give it a full power run and see if there was any difference with not having that oil sleeve in there. So I'll let you have a quick look at that. As you can see, it's running great, so that was up to about 3,500 RPM, same as the last time I did a full power run. So next step now is to start putting some 2-hour runs on the books, and that'll be probably a week and a half from now. So I'm going to actually be at Sun and Fun on Friday and Saturday, so there'll probably be a video that I'll put out on Friday, but I'm not sure exactly what will be in it yet. But anyway, that's our video for the first half of this week, so thanks again for watching.